to make it out of Group A, but Pain has a tiny chance of doing it. I think it's really just between us, Tigers, and Flash Wolves.
제가 생각하기에는 저희 팀이랑 UOFW인 것 같고요. CLG도 잘한다고 생각을 했었는데 저희가 경기를 해보니까 좀 저희 생각만큼 그렇지 않은 것 같아서.
Before we lost to Ku, the last time we lost was like 3 months ago. It felt really shitty to lose. The first 3 games were just playing super weird. That's not CLG at all.
저희 팀은 저도 예측을 못해요. 저희가 이 정도로만 해왔으면 이제 더 잘할 수 있을 거라 생각을 하고 아마 오늘은 더 좋은 경기력이 나오지 않을까 생각하고 있어요.
I want us to play like CLG should play. That's all I want to see is on the last day, like, if we play our best, can we be the first seed?
Tigers too far behind, can't do anything. What is up with the upsets? Pain Gaming take a win over the Flash Wolves. Tigers in first place now, tying Counter Logic Gaming.
Week 2 of the 2015 League of Legends World Championship. Now, once again, the fans have assembled in Ladakh Pullman here in Paris to cheer on their teams as they fight to continue their journey towards the Summoners Cup. And of course, here earlier today, Zion Spartan, the rest of CLG gearing up for their first game of the day against Ku. A few more cosplayers in the audience to enjoy as well. Azir and Sejuani looks like she left Bristle at home. The Ku Tigers fueling up. Very necessary before a big game to start the day for CLG, but for all of these teams, they're going to be playing multiple games today. Hello, everyone. I'm James Dash Patterson, and with me are some of the brightest minds in League of Legends English language LPL caster Jake Spawn Tiberi, the NALCS's Aiden Zyrene Moon, and jungler of the NALCS's Renegades, Alberto Crumbs Rengifo. Welcome back for Week 2, gentlemen.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Crumbs.
Feels even better.
Feels even better. I
don't know. I think I feel a little better
Week 1. Where are we at? Well, last week brought some results that were surprising to say the least. North American 3rd seed Cloud9 sits atop Group B. Meanwhile, European 3rd seed Origin is leading Group D. And of course, that means China's #1 seeded LGD is 0-3 in Week 1.
Man, LGD, they were up there for people who thought that they were going to be winners of this tournament, or at least in the finals. They were top 3 in a lot of people's books, but they came out and they did not look like LGD that we saw in the LPL. They looked all over the place, and a lot of their players are playing very scared, and I've heard that TBQ has been under the weather from his own social media, but I think that's a factor as well, and the rest of the team has just been
and it's funny, you say it's the LGD we're not expecting to see out of the LPL, but this is the LPL team that we got 50% of the time. The one thing that we can say, they're a good best-of-5 teams. They're probably not going to get to that stage. They've lost 1 this year against EDG. It was 3-2, but their best-of-1 play, hey, they've only played 3 of them. They've lost all 3.
Yep, they have to go for that 3-0 sweep. They really had to hope for a 3-0.
I was going to say, it kind of just stresses the importance of being able to perform in best-of-1s through this group stage. And as each day this week is about settling the score in one group at a time, we're going to start with Group A. Group A is slowly shaping up to be a 2-horse race, but the Flash Wolves and Pain are still in it. So let's check out the standings. With favorable head-to-head, CLG and Ku are in control of their fate and just need to beat the teams below them to advance. Very important to note.
You know, Ku is a team that's known for having deep champion pools and dismantling teams. I think that's what they did to CLG last time they faced each other, where they had a composition and a style that really picked on the pressure points that CLG is weak to. And they decided that, you know what, we're going to show us our best picks. Victor mid. Kura is the guy that brought Victor to the meta altogether. He was amazing in this champion. Smeb, he's got a lot of top lane carries that are none of the juggernauts that we've seen. The Riven tops, the Kennen, the Lissandras, these pools go deeper than we have seen, and I think they're going to come out swinging and just take the whole group.
And I like what you mentioned, because if there is a blueprint that Ku can once again manufacture, the teams below CLG, they're only 1 game off. If they start stealing these wins, especially if Flash Wolves are able to get it back together against Pain Gaming, who they did lose against, this is still a wide open group for me. And, you know, definitely agree. CLG should be the front runner to take that 2nd position, but you can never take anything for granted.
Yeah, but the Flash Wolves did lose to Pain Gaming, so now they're 1-2. 2. So being behind them just a little bit and not having the head-to-head against CLG just yet, you're hoping for a tiebreaker if you're Flash Wolves.
But after game 1 and 2, man, they're probably both going to be 2 and 2 together.
Oh, we'll see, because I don't know. I think CLG might be able to pull it out. We'll have to see.
Yeah, only time will tell. Well, today's games will decide which 2 teams will advance out of Group A and which teams will have their Worlds run cut short. We start with the clash of the squads fighting for first as CLG face off against the KOO Tigers. After that, Flash Wolves will battle Brazil's Pain Gaming, who will stay on the Rift to face the KOO Tigers afterwards. If there are any tiebreakers, we'll bring you those matches immediately following our regularly scheduled matches today. Game 1 is huge, though. If CLG wins, they'll have a tie head-to-head with KOO. Big when we consider the implications getting out of groups.
I'm not convinced at all. That performance that KOO had against CLG really spoke to the weaknesses of CLG. I have a huge rant about them and their style and how it's come from the North American LCS. They've never really been tested, and they're not focusing on helping Doublelift carry. They need to use this guy to take Tier 2 towers during the laning phase. He's so strong, and with champions like Tristan Jinx, you can get bigger gold leads than their unnatural fetish for grouping as 5 mid for the Tier 1 tower at every second possible. They can do this if they really just carry with Doublelift.
Yeah, and the problem with that was they went middle against a Victor who just kept wave clearing in one ability instead of getting the Tier 2 bottom, which I definitely agree with you was a big misstep there because it's just the formula of CLG. They're basically going step 1, step 2, step 3, and I think KOO have them figured out.
And you can't have telegraph play. If Origin showed us anything against these Korean teams, it is you can beat them around the map, not if you play the way CLG did. So I was the same. It was kind of one of these dissecting moments where it looked like once again another team had been exposed by a very smart team in KOO Tigers, but I think that CLG can bounce back.
And let's keep in mind the importance of this match. If CLG were to lose this game, a lot of attention gets turned to the winner of Flash Wolves and Pain, given the fact that they might then be able to make a run for that second seed.
As I said before, the pressure on the loser out of this game is absolutely massive. If you drop this game, you're with everyone else.
All right, well, go for it.
CLG does have the 1-1 over or 1-0 over both the teams below them, so that's still something to keep in mind. They're never going to get 2-0'd, so they might get a tiebreaker even if they fall a little bit.
Yeah, there is a little bit of insurance there. Well, today is do or die as these teams fight for a spot in the quarterfinals, and we want to get your thoughts. So tweet us at LollySports and tell us which player or lane you think will carry their team specifically out of Group A and why. Gentlemen, do you have any thoughts regarding this?
Yeah. All tournament long, I've been on the mid laner and the jungler, beg my pardon, of the Flash Wolves. Casa and Maple, they're just looking so strong coming into the tournament, and Maple hasn't really had that game we're waiting for yet. I think that with a couple of days break, they're now very used to playing in this setting. They could go off and really impact the map.
I mean, for me, I don't think CLG is going to beat KOO, but if they have a way of doing so, it has to be through Afro. You know, we've known this guy to be the shot caller. Xmithy doesn't do a lot of the shot calling. It's Afro. He has to be the one to direct his team and tell them, look, come to this lane. We're winning. We need to push this advantage and open the map through this one. If Zion's getting leads, fine, switch it to the top lane, but really focus on that strength and win that way, as opposed to trying to help something that's been working for a year. That's not going to fly here.
Yeah, he's got to have that flexibility against KOO. And I'm looking at KOO's support, Gorilla, who's going to be up in the bottom lane against him. Gorilla even showed in their game against Pain that when they are behind, they always have a way back into the game off of his mid-game shot calling, off of his mid-game plays that he's going to be making on his Thresh and his pick champion. So Gorilla's the guy, I think, even if KOO gets into a deficit, can still pull them out of the game.
All right, well, there's a few ideas for you there. Remember to send your answers to @LollySports and include the hashtag Worlds, and we'll have our analyst desk weigh in a little later in the broadcast. Right now, though, gentlemen, it's time to poll you for your predictions. Who's going to be taking this first match?
I think KOO Tigers will take this first match. The way that they beat CLG last time was watching someone just dissect a team. And as I said, I do really respect CLG and their resilience. I think they will bounce back. Will it be enough against KOO? I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm also going to have to go with KOO Tigers here. I was doing a whole bunch of research. I really wanted to pull for CLG, but it just looked like a step-by-step process that KOO had dissected. Also, this is not, and Doublelift talked about it in the roll-in, this is not the CLG that we saw at Madison Square Garden. Zion Spartan has given up first blood in all 3 games. They are not getting a top lane advantage, and they're not able to play on multiple sides of the map. And when that happens, they're on the Lulu crutch in mid lane for Pobelter, and when that was banned out, they didn't seem to have an answer.
Crumbs?
I've had my communion, I've said my prayers, but I think it's time to leave the church. I'm all out of faith. CLG is not going to beat Ku. Ku for the win. And that's because this is a team that's shown 3 carries. Smeb, Kuro, and Prey have really shown that they can take over games. And for CLG, it's only been Doublelift. It's a Doublelift show with the Lulu or just really protecting me with Jinx and Tristana. I'm not sold. With a 1 threat, comp, and strategy, you cannot beat a team as solid as Kill right now.
Yeah, but CLG, they can pull out a win here if they pull out something new or they go back to their Madison Square Garden performance, and Ku has something that's almost like their IEM performance, because we've seen different variations of these teams, and that's what...
So hoping they choke.
Yeah,
Well,
going back in time quite a way there.
Or the more diplomatic way of saying it, anything can happen in a best of 1.
Boom.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, as we